that was what's in my head. Like, well, if I haven't gone as deep on something, it's because you haven't asked the question. I'm happy to. Yeah.
No, and I got to tell you, I admire the heck out of you for that.
Elon Musk is just brilliant, and it's awesome.
What's your favorite purchase you've made now that you're you're in a different tax bracket?
You're talking business-wise, or
no, just for you. I'm going off.
A Tesla.
So you did get a Tesla.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So you only drive in the city, basically. You can't take that very far, can you?
I've taken trips down to St. George and back. It's been great. I have.
Yeah, but do you have to stop and plug in and wait?
20 minutes.
That's all?
Yeah. Superchargers can add like hundreds of miles per.
Do they charge? How much do they charge to charge a car?
I haven't been charged yet, so
really?
I don't know. I think it's less than gas by far, but I haven't.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're driving through southern Utah and you go, oh, my battery's getting low, and you have to stop in Holden
because I have 300 miles, so I can go 300 miles between charges. So at
any speed. You know what I mean? Is
it's variable. When it changes, I did learn. I took a trip up to Island Park, and I had my bike rack in Idaho. It's a 5-hour drive, 5-hour drive. So I have I had the tow hitch installed on the Tesla, so I can hook up my bike rack, and I put 2 bikes on the back, and drove it up to Idaho. Pocatello's a city on the way there.
Yes.
And calculated the route. Yeah, you'll have plenty of miles left over. You can just stop off for 20 minutes in Pocatello at the supercharger. Well, there was so much drag that it totally ruined the efficiency. 8 miles away from the supercharger in Pocatello, I hit 0 miles left. There's a countdown of how many miles you have left, and I got to 0. And I'm like, talking to my wife, like, what are we gonna do? She Googled it, found out, Teslas can probably go 10, 20 miles beyond 0. We did. We made it to the supercharger. So yeah, long trips with the bike rack I'm not gonna do that again. But long trips are just fine otherwise.
That's cool because, gas combustion engines, I'm not sure if you're familiar with those.
We have a Toyota Sienna.
They also have the same kind of feature where you go, how far can I bury the needle at empty, and it's still, we've given you an extra 30 miles.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun that, Elon would say, it's kind of the same mentality for
He knows our human nature.
E-drivers. Now, you're a big fan of Elon Musk, aren't you?
I am.
And is it just because you have a Tesla, or vice versa? Did you get a Tesla because you're a huge fan of his?
I've been a fan of his for a long time. I do have to, one side note on the Tesla, I just got full self-driving beta.
I saw you, yeah.
So, I've been following this other YouTuber that's had the beta version for, I don't know, I've been following this guy for a year. And he always gets the latest and greatest update of Tesla's Autopilot here.
So it's just a software update.
And it's really impressive what I've seen on YouTube. Like he'll do this thing, he'll take it down streets where it's a narrow road, there's cars parked on both sides, there's a biker biking in the street, and the Tesla behaves perfectly.
Wow. So
I've been really, really excited to get the full self-driving beta. I just got it. And it is
And you've
awful.
already killed
It's awful.
3 pedestrians are dead.
No, I have to intervene because the Tesla's going to steer me into traffic, and it's like, so I just got an update again, and I'm hoping, I'm really optimistic, and I don't want to really publish too much my disappointment so far.
No. Well, they're beta. I mean, that's what it's for.
It's beta, but I'm just wondering how come my car isn't behaving like. You can look it up. Dirty Tesla is the YouTube channel.
Maybe we'll take your Tesla to lunch and see how the new update works.
Okay.
I got a Honda Accord.
My daughter has made me promise her, Dad, you will not use that when I'm in the car.
Oh, that's funny.
It's really that scary to the
Yeah,
kids.
but you're right there.
That's what I tell her.
Yeah, I took a trip down south in my little car. It runs on gas, and it has a lot of those features. And so I tried kind of just to let it drive down the freeway going 80 without holding. And it does pretty good. Every now and then it'll say steering required, but I don't, and it corrects itself. But I'm not going to take a nap. I'm not sure where. Anyway, so we were talking about Elon Musk. So why the fascination? I mean, obviously, he's a fascinating individual, but what is it about him?
So Yeah, I mean, I think for me, he's taken the place of Steve Jobs. Everyone really admired him and I was talking about Steve Jobs, his innovation, what he did with Apple, the way that he thought way differently than most creatives or business owners or entrepreneurs. Elon Musk is just brilliant, and he does things so differently, but then he explains why he does it, and I learned so much from it. Recently, he was interviewed by this guy named Everyday Astronaut. They went to Starbase in Texas where they're making the big, huge rocket, and he just asked him a lot of questions. They were talking rocketry and whatnot, but he said, well, I follow a 5-step process. And I heard that process, and I'm like, that is so brilliant. That's totally applicable to my business. I'm not going to relate all 5 steps because I can't remember them in order.
Sure.
But the first one is like eliminate stupid requirements, something like that. Like, don't automate things. Don't try and speed up the process if the process is a dumb requirement in the first place. So I went back and I looked at our systems, like, why are we requiring the title of our videos to be entered here? Because then that requires this, and automating this and speeding it up. And it's like, I know my example probably doesn't make sense, but it
makes sense to you.
It makes sense to me.
Yes.
And so that's what I admire most about Elon Musk, is he kind of, maybe it's because he sees the world in the way that I see the world. I see the end result. He wants to create a world, just as an example, he wants to create a world, or he did, and we're already moving there now. Like, electric vehicles are the future. Gas vehicles are the dinosaur age, literally. And he knew that there was a way to do it, and now all the other auto manufacturers are on board.
Yeah, of course.
Not that long ago, 5 years ago, especially 10 years ago, everyone was calling him crazy, saying it couldn't be done, and now the whole world's there. Like, he has a vision, he can see it, and he makes things happen. He's doing it with the space industry, he's doing it with boring tunnels, he's doing it with solar power, he's doing it with artificial intelligence and stuff. The way that he thinks, like, he sees an end result, and he knows how to create a system and figure it out and jump through all the hoops to change the world, and I really admire that. Is
that attractive to you as a person to be like him? And I don't mean just specifically about your business, but that a visionary of other things, where as your resources amass and your reach, or would that be something that's to model yourself? Definitely. Kind of after that?
I get fulfillment from making a difference. I've surrounded myself by, all my clients are influencers. They have impact. They teach, they educate, they coach, they help, they serve. And by me offering them services that help them to be more successful, I love that. I love seeing their success. It gives me a fulfillment. And anything like that, where like I want to make an impact on this world, the more that I can do that. Elon Musk is not a perfect person. He's got big character flaws in a lot of areas. And so it's not like, he's not someone that I worship, but I see him as a role model for making an impact, like something that's important to him and that he really believes in. He does everything he can to work toward it. So I admire that.
Well, it's interesting too that in this world, that level of success and the notoriety that comes with it does allow you a certain degree of freedom to say things, to to philosophize about things. You have now a public forum where certain ideologies can be expressed. Are there things, if you were at that position, that you would? I mean, you bought a Tesla. Is it because you're a hardcore environmentalist, or because it's the coolest car ever made?
There's a good mixture. Yeah, there's a good mixture. I think everyone loves to give advice. There's a certain point where, like, advice becomes valuable, and with my how many years struggle 15. In business? 15 and a half years of struggle. Why am I so concerned about that numbers? Because it was hard work. And now I finally figured some things out. I've made so many mistakes, but figured a few things out right, that I get fulfillment on sharing that advice, and like having people say, that makes a lot of sense, and having them make a change and having it succeed. I love that. And I got to tell you, I admire the heck out of you for that, because that is an attribute, particularly in business, that is in short supply.
this ability and desire to be transparent, I guess is the word in some ways. Now, you're not laying out for us every detail of your business and how it runs and everything else, but you're willing to share, as we've done videos on your channel now for several years, and the ones that I've seen, you're open to sharing. This is where I started. This is where I am. Let me tell you how we got there. And you're not saying necessarily for money. I mean, you've got a $2,000 course, don't get me wrong. But I mean, the point is that all of these videos that you've put out there are free to watch. Mm-hmm. Anyone can sit here and listen to what you say. And I know if we had 2 weeks and we were cozily nestled in your Florida new studio home, which we will need to do soon.
I don't know about the cozy part. But anyway, yes.
But you would. How deep would you go? I mean, if you write a book on all of your experiences and how you made your money, and specifically, I mean, to me, you seem like the kind of guy who's like, ask me anything, and I'll tell you how I did it.
That was what's in my head. Like, well, if I haven't gone as deep on something, it's because you haven't asked the question. I'm happy to, yeah.
No, I could ask. I could certainly ask, and maybe I will after lunch.
Now we can just chat, and it's, we're just having a chat.
Let's all be clear, I'm not a celebrity, and outproduce and perform, and you have trade secrets.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun getting that feedback. It is fulfilling.